UFC Freedom 250. We're going to be talking about this, what we got come up. I'm just going to go through real quick, talk about my picks. The first fight, Diego Lopes versus Steve Garcia. Diego Lopes. All right, this is a really good fight. Look, to be honest, I think the favorite right now is Lopes. I was watching back the film. Garcia's 33 years old at the moment, coming into his prime for MMA, in my opinion. Like, if you look back at his previous fights, he looks, I think his last, four, five, he's just looked clean. He's been knocking people out. He did get finished earlier in his UFC career, but he's came back. And we see this all the time. All these fighters, they take these L's early, and then they start to grow into their potential when they learn how to rebound. And he's done that. So he got knocked out, and then he came back, and he's been dominating. He's an in and out fighter. He bounces a lot. He's always feinting, throwing one, two, pressure. So I expect him to be in the face of Lopes early, being active, feinting, jab, cross, body, working the body, just on the outside. Coming in on the outside, I think Lopes starts off a bit slower. He throws less. It's more like one strike. So I think Lopes will probably open up by chopping at the legs, just like we saw him against Silva. He did try with Volk, obviously hit some, but it's a bit different hitting such a crafty veteran in Volk. He knows his footwork better than anyone. Like, he's up there. So I think when Garcia commits and sits deep, because he tends to do that, he can sit on the outside, throw 1-2, but he does blitz in. And in those moments, I think Lopes can catch or look to kind of clinch up, grapple, throw a few strikes. He is crafty. Lopes is crafty in the void. I can see him clinching up and making something happen, maybe with one of his sneaky elbows, but he's a fighter that has the power to shut the lights off. And I mean, we saw Lopes have issues catching Volk. Garcia has that similar distance control. Lopes gets frustrated and he doesn't always readjust. So we'll see. I think when I was watching back some of Lopes's fights, I noticed he does a bounce reset. So he kind of like, his feet go horizontal, he just does like a bounce reset. But I think in between those exchanges, if Garcia can time that and take advantage, I think he's going to catch Lopes there. I don't think he could put Lopes out. We've seen how durable he is. So I think, for Lopes, utilizing those calf kicks early, being patient, taking the movement away from Garcia, maybe finding a grappling entry to get some controlled time, do some damage. But if you look at Lopes's fight, he doesn't hold on to fighters. He's not doing a Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway full round fight. He never does that. It's quite easy for, you see Gene Silva just got up. It's because I think Lopes is just happy to exchange, and he's always looking for a brawl and a finish. So I'm taking Garcia to win a decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Lopes catches him and wins by TKO in maybe the second or third round. He is more experienced. He's had those championship fights. But I think this is a underrated fight. It's an absolute banger of a fight. I'm keen. I think adding in those like 400k bonuses is going to be such a motivator for Garcia. I think that's life-changing money. And I think if you look at his career, he's coming into his prime. He's got this streak now. I think, it just depends. Can he deal with the pressure? We've seen Lopes in the lights. He didn't deliver. But yeah, I'm going to take Garcia by decision. Next, we've got Bo Nickel versus Carl Daukaus. feel like no one can complain about Bo Nickel being on the main card because it's just there's no prelims, but here he is. Yeah. This is actually probably one of the harder fights to pick on the card, in my opinion. We saw Nickel crumble against RDJ, and then he had a good fight against a tough, I think it was Vera. Yeah, so he in that fight, he had a lot going on. There was a lot of grappling, striking, wrestling, defense even. I think it was in the third round he won by head kick KO. It was pretty fucking nasty. It was clean, landed right on the temple. Vieira went down clean. So I don't know with this fight. I don't know. I know he has the mentality down packed when it comes to development and bettering himself. I think his last fight showed that. But he can crumble. Carl is one of those fighters on and off. He has been on recently. I think he's going to stay. Oh. This one's hard. Also, Nickel's hair growing out. I think that's going to affect my decision here. Captain America looking ass. America, fuck yeah. But I guess it suits the White House card. Look, for this one, I'm going to go with Bo Nickel. I think he's just going to deliver. I think in these moments he spotlight on him when he's super favored. I don't know. He just does it. So I'm going to go Bo Nickel. And I'm going to go Bo Nickel by knockout in the second round. Moving on. All right. Mauricio Rufy and Miku Chandler. Brother, look at him. What the fuck? I think this is Rufy by TKO. I don't know. I can't see a clean knockout, but I see the same thing he did to Fiziev. I think it's just going to be one of those straight right, down timed perfectly. I think Chandler's just going to get rocked multiple times. I think he's going to be stumbling. I think he'll go for a takedown, but I don't think he'll do much for it. I can see him maybe having Rufy on his fucking shoulder, running across the cage, slamming it, being like, yeah, getting all bloody, just eating punches, blocking him with his face, face to fist style, America. So, but I think Rufy's just going to put him away. I just don't see Chandler utilizing his wrestling and grappling in the way that we've seen Rufy be dominated before. I just think he's victim of his own hype. He lets the adrenaline pump, and then he just lets the animal instincts kick in, and it's just all for the show. And it's props to him. It's kept him around. I mean, what fights has he actually fucking won? And he's here on the versing Rufy on the White House card, where he finished Dan Hooker. Is that it? So yeah, I don't know. I think actually I'm gonna say, fuck. Chandler's tough. He is tough, but he will get it put away. I see him bringing it early, so they're probably going to exchange early. And then I see Rufy by TKO in the second round. Done. Next one. Fucking Hockett versus Derek Lewis. Hockett literally 2 months ago just came through that crazy battle with Curtis Blades. One of the best heavyweight fights I've seen recently, at least. Absolutely insane. The whole time he's just throwing. It looks like he's fatigued, but I don't know if it's just like him just fucking making a game of it. But yeah, I don't know. The whole time he's just sticking his finger up at Curtis Blades, and props to Curtis Blades, mate. It was a close fight. It was a close fight. Derek Lewis, the last fight I saw was who did he verse? Who did Derek Lewis verse? All I remember, was it Cortez? Let's have a look. But I remember it was just like it was a pathetic fight. I'm not gonna lie, just a blob. He laid down, he quit. Yeah, it was Cortez Acosta. The fight was weird. It was like it never got started. The whole time he's just chasing Costa. Costa's just athletic. So this blob, Derek Lewis, is just like blump, blump, blump. Oh, swing. Cortez is already 10 meters away by the time he takes his second step to swing. And then eventually you could just see he's like will just diminished, and he just pretty much like just laid on the floor. And then it was just over. I think Hockett is just gonna be too athletic. He is too athletic. The issue with Hockett is like he pushes the pace, pushes forward, happy to trade, and he did that with Blades, but I don't think you can do that with Lewis. You need Lewis to kind of just chase after you, and then you pick him apart. If Hockett does just stand there and then trade as brashly as he did against Blades, then I think Lewis can put him to sleep. But still, I'm gonna put Hockett by TKO due to Blob laying on the ground and quitting. Maybe in the second round. Next up, Sean O'Malley versus Zahabi, aka Errol Hawane. This is interesting because on paper, I've watched all the Zahabi's recent fights. Have actually pissed me off because I thought Aldo beat him. Then who did he verse after that? Verse someone else. Let's have a look. Zahabi. I've got to jog the memory. Oh yeah, the Marlon Vera, Pedro Munez. Yeah, so he just kind of scrapes by. It gives me a reminder of Dricus. When Dricus was coming up, I thought, all right, no, Darren Till was going to put him away. You saw him versus Derek Brunson, one of the most autistic fights I've ever watched in my life. I remember watching that, and that was on his early come up when he started building a streak, and I'm just like, this guy neither of them will ever be anything in the UFC. Dricus comes through, Darren Till, Whitaker. It just constantly started beating people. And Zahabi has that kind of vibe. Like, it's just like he's not athletic. You wouldn't say he's like good. Like, if you match him up against all these other elite fighters, he's just, I don't know, but he is durable. So it's like throws a curveball. Like, for some reason, I feel like he could snag this away from Sean O'Malley. He shouldn't. And if Sean's locked in, if he feels himself, like you could see when he was versing Yadong, Sean was like calm. It was like, it's like he didn't want to risk too much. I think coming off 2 losses, he wasn't as kind of willing to trade. And then he started to tee off. You see him get really comfortable in the 3rd round. I mean, Yadong is dangerous. You don't want to get clipped by him, so I understand that. But yeah, once O'Malley gets his rhythm, he just picks you apart. And so, is Zahabi going to be too awkward for O'Malley to get that rhythm going? And is O'Malley going to be locked in early to make the most of it? Because it's a three round fight. So if it's too slow from O'Malley and Zahabi just does his fucking awkward, like, exchanges where he kind of gets away by points, but he's not actually doing too much, and then I could see him like potentially taking 2 rounds from O'Malley, and then O'Malley starts to tee off. Third round, nearly he drops Zahabi. It's crazy. It doesn't get finished. Zahabi makes it saved by the bell, and then everyone's like, if it went longer, O'Malley would have just killed the man, but he won 2 rounds, so Zahabi wins. Either way, that's a reality. I can see that happening, but I think Sean O'Malley by decision, but I can see him. I see him if it does go his way. I see it by either a finish in the 3rd round or decision, like he beat Vera, Cheeto. So yeah, next one. Alex Pereira Sharma versus all the cereal gone. Alright. This is actually a hard pick. It's a hard pick, my J. Oh. Fuck. This one's hard. I do think Pereira's going to be more durable at heavyweight. I think he's going to take hits. Cyril Gane does have finishes, but yeah, I don't know. I just see Cyril Gane doing his bounce, eating a couple leg kicks. Pereira's going to be there, but he doesn't chase like a spastic. He just small bounce, moves closer, leg kick. Cyril Gane's going to be bouncing around a lot. I can see him hitting a couple jabs, making Pereira have a blood nose, potentially just like he did Aspinall. But the longer the fight goes on, I just see Pereira slowly doing more damage. I think Pereira is going to knock out. Oh fuck, this is a hard one. You know what? I'm going Alex Pereira to win. Will it go the full distance? I just don't see Gane getting finished. I'm going to go Alex Pereira by TKO in the 5th. I don't know if that's going to... the main event. Ilya Tup versus Justin Gaethje. Rockin' Justin Gaethje. Hey guys, my father is my dad. My dad's my father. Alright, I love Gaethje, by the way. No hate. This one is interesting. Seeing Gaethje on the scales, he looks drained. Ilya looks like he's swolled up. So, is he going to be as fast? I think so. I think he's going to be more powerful. Even looking at him, just that stocky build. It's perfect for a car crash, which that's what Gaethje wants. I don't see Gaethje really mixing it up. I know he says he does a lot. He's not a leg kick merchant like everyone thinks he is. I don't know. I just think there's just no way for Gaethje to beat Topuria, really. Unless the extra weight for Topuria creates issues with his cardio. They are exchanging for a while because Gaethje is durable. He does have good movement and he can catch you in with sneaky uppercuts. He does hit hard there. Ilya has a chin though, so I mean you saw Ilya eat that elbow from Oliveira. You didn't notice it in the time because he barely reacted. When you're watching the fight, he barely reacted, so you didn't even notice it. But then when you watch it and there's the slow mode replay, he eats a nasty elbow from Oliveira and just whatever, and just goes back exchanging. So I just don't see Gaethje doing anything too crazy like that to Topuria. I think Poirier's gonna meet and car crash with him, and I think he's just gonna have more power. And I think Gaethje's just gonna be 2 steps behind, in my opinion. So I'm gonna take Ilia Topuria by KO in. I'm gonna say the second round again. This card is just filled with finishes, I reckon. Unless it's gonna be cursed, and then everyone's gonna hate Trump, and this whole thing's gonna be a gimmick. But it's just impossible. I think they've set up the card in such a way that, yeah, like this O'Malley Zahabi on paper should just be a finish. They know that just because of the matchup. Rufy versus Chandler, again, that should just be a finish. Bo Nickel, because it's America. And then Lopez Garcia, again, that's just going to be a banger. Not necessarily a finish, but potential for finishes, but it's just going to be a slugfest. You can just kind of tell there's going to be blood all over the map. Pereira's GOAT, Cyril Gane. This is going to be Cyril Gane, all the Cyril Gane's 10th attempt. But yeah, that's my picks. So we'll see. I'll see you on the flip side, and we'll go back.